Hello, this is Matt. This is the Pathway to Peace Symposium. We have been on all day and we have had something like 20 speakers already and some fantastic stuff. We are working on peace is our goal, and inner peace and interpersonal peace and social peace among us. And maybe someday, if enough of us know how to do peace, maybe we can have big peace in the world. So our next guest is Ancha, who is a fantastic teacher. She has kind of an alternative to public education and teaching the kids the proper way, which is to ask them, not to tell them what they need to know. You ask them, what do you want to know? And then they get all fired up. How about that, huh? Pretty cool. Right. So let's talk. Ancha, you want to introduce yourself?
All right. Well, so my name is Ancha Nitya, and I don't know if this noise is disturbing you. Do you hear the car?
Oh, it's good.
It's fine. Just hold still.
Okay,
just hold still.
Excellent.
If you can.
I have been working with children since I was 16, when some counselors discovered that I apparently had a gift, and I found myself through that kind of work because I had no voice as a child. In fact, my first art exhibit that I put up was at my second grade, after my second grade, and I glued all of my art pieces on my wall, and my mom grounded me and asked me to take off every single one, which meant, with a knife or a putty knife, whatever you call that in English, and they all came out in pieces. So little did I know that this dramatic event would actually give my life an enormous boost and actually the direction for sharing my own gift. And my gift really has developed from being with the children because I felt comfortable with the children because they were transparent and they were authentic. And I had been watching adults my whole little life, wondering, why are they playing these games? Why are they not saying what they mean? I could sense all of that because I had a very sensitive being developed because of my mom being a single mom and very, very sick, dying often, not always fully, but of course, very, very sick. And I was the mom. So having been the mom, I knew how to take care. I knew how to observe. I was tuned in, but I didn't have my own voice. I had to just serve, if you will. So by the age 16, when I was discovered to have such an ability with the children, because I could listen and feel, and they could feel that I was right there with them because I didn't want to be anywhere else. And what happened is I began to realize that the voice I never had, I could give it to them by listening to them. And I became a Montessori teacher in Europe. I did pedagogic studies, and I did the life mastery consultation certification with Mary Morrissey. I've studied with Deepak Chopra for a few years, and Joe Dispenza and Bruce Lipton and Greg Braden. So I got it down, if you will, because I was searching for what the alternatives would be to have a life where you feel included. And what I found out is, to be included, you have to include your own self with yourself first. You have to get to know who you are. And in our society, that is a rarity. Nobody has time for that. Nobody even knows. Very few people know what they need, what they want, who they are, what their values are.
Right.
And so it's very important to me to allow the children to discover that by allowing them to be who they are. And so in my own school, which is called the Joyful Alternative, that I've been teaching through for 38 years or so, I've developed different programs where I use the Montessori curriculum as a background, but the first curriculum is art. I mix age groups to avoid any competition and to foster inspiration between age groups and collaboration. And I have found that the results are extraordinary, because although the children have different age groups, and in fact, I even include different generations. In fact, one of my classes had a 4-year-old as the youngest and a 80-some-year-old as the oldest. And it was miraculous to see what happened there. Because really the one who was the most powerful teacher was the 4-year-old. And what happened to the 80-year-old was just a total blessing. She opened up, she let go of her fears, she dropped all of her preconceived ideas, and she began to have fun. And I realized this is the most important part. You have to be who you are in order to get to know yourself and to be mirrored by other people. So authenticity is number one. And so as I developed the curriculum, everything went through the arts. Each child brings in a passion, whatever subject it is, and we take each child's passion and we address it at their level, in them doing their own research at their level and coming back and creating a presentation. And after that, they pick an art form, and they can pick anything. I do silk painting, acrylics, watercolor, soft sculpture, clay sculpture. I mean, textiles, weaving, anything goes. And they can pick whatever. And then what they're experiencing is that they are literally exploring their passion in the middle of other children or adults who are doing the same, and they are learning from each other, and they're watching how the creative process is actually becoming a reality in different art forms. And this is how I catch their attention. And they love it because I never say no. And they are heard, they are honored at their level and with their own interest. So I've been doing this for 38 years. I love it. And I have decided, well, I should do something where the children actually talk about their feelings, but how could we go about that? Through the arts. And what I created is a program called TAGA, Textile Arts and Global Awareness. I think it was in 1980 or 85. And it was something that came about to literally enable the children to process their feelings about what they were bombarded with and nobody noticed, like the news. And nobody noticed that it would affect them.
Yeah.
And so we started processing and we started working and we created collective artworks. Again, approaching them through respect and honoring their feelings and letting them pick whatever subject was of importance in their soul, because they're very clear. I think children really lose their compass, their internal compass, once they're told what to do and how to do it by adults. And we need to remember those curriculums are adult-based. They're not children-based, So by following the child's soul, passion, interest, momentum, they open up the whole world. They are ready. They want it. And no disciplinary problems. I have children who were sent to me by the public school saying that they had no attention, deficit attention disorder, and with huge stacks in their dossier, which I never read. And when I would be asked, well, did you read about this child? I said, no, I have to have my experience to know who this child is. And I have this child here for 3 hours and I don't have any problems, and it's because they are paid attention to the way they need to be paid attention to. So I think that to come back to what we're here for, to be at peace with the world, you have to be at peace with yourself. And to be at peace with yourself, you have to be seen for who you are, accepted for who you are, and loved for who you are, instead of being made a competitive object that has to prove themselves all the time, you know. So that's kind of what I nix from all of what I do, and it becomes a playful time and a creative time. And so I had the first children's exhibit ever. And then I teach the children to create scholarships with work that they do collectively, because creativity in a collective setting is quite a challenge. Yet, when each child is honor where they are and they're used to that, what have they learned? They can honor the others. And so I've had some fabulous results with collective works. And I had a series called Silk Prayers for the Earth, 4x4 silk pieces with the visions of the children, little groups, 4, 5, 6 children, of what it is that they want to see in their world. And they were beautiful. And we made scholarships through those works. And those scholarships were given to the children by the children to come and do this work,
Wow.
to be creative, and to learn that they have an incredible power within them. They don't need adults to tell them what to do. In fact, I made it my point to bypass all of the red tape, all of the adults, and let the children see that through their creative work collectively, they could actually help other children without ever having any help from an adult. And that is empowering for the child, you know. So then, you know, I feel that with such a grounded foundation, they get to know who they are, and they get to be who they are, and they love who they are, and they want to serve. And being in service gives another layer of mind, peace of mind. Of course, you know, I mean, that's just the frosting on the cake, to be able to be joyful in service. I think that's what we need in the world, you know, instead of competition and greed and fear. And that needs to be learned as a child from their parents, from the people who are around them. And it feels like it enables them to open soul to whomever that person is. I mean, I have some children now who are in their early 30s who are still calling me when they have a friend who is in trouble and saying, could you please help so-and-so? And I mean, it's an amazing, amazing blessing to work at that level with children, you know. In fact, my son, who is now 28, he used to have his friends come over, and eventually one day he said, Mom, when my friends come over, they come over to play with me, and they don't need to talk to you. And I didn't do anything. They would come and chat with me. So it's very, very sweet to have that kind of connection. Yeah. So
good problem.
Anyway, here I gave a little bit of a blurb of what I do in order to bring about that kind of mind and brain activity. You know, I mean, we seriously need to study the brain with the children so that they have a visual of how things are happening in their brain and how they actually have total power over it. They can do it, they're doing it naturally, and then we just get it out of them by having them become little peons. You know, and that's very, very sad. Very, very sad. I unschooled my children on 80 acres with no telephone, no electricity, no TV, nothing. I never had a single disciplinary problem. Never. They never saw it. It wasn't part of their vocabulary. You know, they didn't know that. In fact, my kids would go to bed by themselves before anybody would even ask them to. You know?
Wow.
Because we lived with the sun, and that was it. So the sun goes down, we go down. We went down too, you know, we get up with the sun. So it's really about modeling, and very scary what's happening now with all of the digital stuff. And so, you know, my hope is to have families, 2 or 3 families at the time. And I've done that before, but I'm going to start doing it again, where we delve into this kind of work as a family for 4, 5, 6 days, and we learn how to hear each other and how to really go deep into the bonding through a creative process that becomes a reminder of the agreements and the trust that we've woven together during such a special time.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Fantastic. Gosh, that's great. So can we show some of your school and your
Sure. Yes.
website?
Yes.
Okay.
So
All right.
when you are on Joyful Alternative, I mean, that's the name. No, we're going now to Spirit Lake Hermitage, which is a place that I built in order to actually have these retreats.
Okay.
And
Well, you can see it.
see it. Yeah.
Okay.
So if you go up a little bit so we can see the whole picture. Yeah, so this is the home that I designed. And by the way, I was told by my mom when I showed her that I designed that at 16.
Oh,
I had
did you
no
really?
memory. I had no memory.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So this is
So
very-
you're in Northern California, right?
yes, I'm in Northern California in a teeny little town of 700 people called Lower Lake. And I'm in the mountains. And I have groups coming. I do women's circles. I do different things like that. And you could show some of the pictures if you want of this place. We have incredible skies. Yeah. And anyway, that goes on and on with words, I think. Oh, there's more. There's a pool, which is a Watsu pool. I also do healing work. And that's the front of the Hermitage with my little dog. But let me show you what the children do. And so that's the inside of the Hermitage, the great room. But if you go back up,
Yeah.
I will show you the children's work.
Okay.
This okay, yeah. So here, art gallery. Yeah, there you go. All right. So multi-generational, as I mentioned. And it's really art in action for sure, for sure. And if you go down, you will see some of the works.
Okay.
So like yeah, you can play that one. That's my daughter actually finishing up one of the, this is one of the collective works that I mentioned, 4, 5, 6-year-old. This was a study we did on peoples of the world, the endangered people. This is a study where we use the endangered people of the world that each one chose from a different area of the world. And then that takes us to geography. So that's definitely through the eyes of the children. This is my son. And my children were unschooled, but they definitely got involved in everything I was doing. And this is again, one of the collective works on the silk paintings by 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. And we come back to the beginning. So if you go down a little more, there's more pictures.
That's it.
That's it, huh? That's
Bottom.
interesting. Let's go back up, all the way up. Art gallery. There should be way more than that. Let's go back down a little.
Well, that was art galleries. I think this is youth art galleries. It might be different. There you go.
Okay, there you go. Yeah, so we can just go down. So generally, you know, I like to work with children for about a year. And these were every piece here is the very first watercolor of these children. And you can look at the age, 13 for the 2 wolves. You could see the hair on the mother wolf's head. Aliyah was an adult, 8-year-old for the little baby wolves, 8-year-old for the swan. I mean, you know, they do incredible work. In my world, everyone is an artist, but what we need to do is learn how to see the things we look at. So we went through the watercolor. This is a program I have that's a 3-week program with clay, where we start with slabs and we make little things that are flat. And we do inner work. So we can see above there in the middle, there is this moon, and there is a mirror in that moon. And then inner work for shadow work. So we really go into ourselves and we explore the things we like, the things we don't like, why we don't like them. Then we explore the people of the world next to the moon, and we just really get involved. Then we went into studying our parents, from children here to the right, left, and then people around the world. And we end up with a over life-size bust of ourselves. And that is a full program for 3 months that I've offered. And this is really a self-knowledge program, self-empowerment. This little girl at the bottom is 7 years old, Luna. Look at this beautiful piece she did of herself. And of course, we explore animals if we go down further. And when we do that, we do botany, we study the skeleton. I mean, I include anything and everything related to what they're picking.
Oh, look at that horse. Wow.
Yes, first sculpture ever.
Wow, really?
All of them.
First one.
Yeah. Because the trick is to see what you're looking at. Most people just look at things and you tell them, well, draw a tree, and they just draw 2 lines and some kind of a cloud around it. But if they take the time to look and to really see, then they begin to see the details. In fact, you can actually learn to draw something without even looking at your pencil, just using your eyes as you pencil on your subject. It's a mindset. It's all a mindset, really. Yeah. And so then we do the silk paintings. These were also paintings about people of the world. So we did this, the sculptures, and then we did the silks, and they picked different cultures. They did the studies. I mean, it's been an incredible experience to celebrate life's diversity and life's oneness, because of course we study all of the diversity, but we also look at what every single person has in common, and it's care and it's love, and it's all of these attributes that the children never hear anything about in education. And then I had a loom. I had many looms, and we learned how to weave, because that's kind of like life, in and out, up and down. So we talk about all of that. And we ended up making beautiful clothing. And at Christmas, I have the Christmas Elf workshop. And so all of these are done with families or without families. But the point being is that we involve everyone, so that everyone has a common ground with the children. So when they sit down at that dinner table, it's not all adult talk. The children are involved because they have experienced as a family together something that they normally don't experience, and they can take off and they can expand on it, and they can dream up something, I think that's very, very important, to expand their horizon, because they're ready. We adults are the ones who are limited and who would rather gossip or watch the news rather than talk about possible inventions or ideas, or what can we build this weekend, And the children have that. It's natural.
Horse is amazing.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
All right, we're about out of time, but anything else you wanted to show at the last minute?
No. I just want to really honor you for doing this on your birthday.
No. Yeah.
And thank you ever so deeply from my heart to yours to actually make this happen and begin some kind of a dialogue to bring something a little different in the schools, and to encourage the parents who are becoming aware that it doesn't have to be that way. We don't have to ship our kids out to be brainwashed to this and that. We can actually be part of their education, because once you listen to them, and you follow what they want and you give them what they need, you won't even hear a peep out of them all day. They're going to be so involved. It's not about an adult teaching a child,
Yeah.
Never.
Mm. Wow.
Learning, education is a self-motivated action. It shouldn't come from someone else,
Mm-hmm.
So I want to encourage the parents and all of the adults to realize that it's much easier to let the child be who they are and evolve in their passion than it is to force them to a adult curriculum.
Okay, so sum it up for us. How do we get to peace from here? How do
we get to peace from here?
Yeah.
Get involved with your children. Do things you have never done yourself. Allow yourself to be a beginner's mind, and watch and model how it is to not know someone or something and to move forward nonetheless and to feel at peace. And when fear comes up, let's model to those children how we can breathe ourselves to a place where the fear cannot come up. When you breathe consciously, you cannot actually get caught by a thought. And that's the most amazing trick. These are the kind of things that in my mind, in my heart, in my soul, bring very, very deep transformation to any human being who is willing to take the time, Yeah.
Ancha, you are wonderful, wonderful, wonderful. Very good. I appreciate you stopping by and sharing this with us. I don't know if anybody else is doing what you're doing, but we need so many more people to do what you're doing. And I'm hoping maybe we can revolutionize education by getting rid of the standardized testing and asking the kids what they want to learn. What a shocker, huh?
What a shocker.
Isn't that great?
It's best done in home,
Yeah. Ancha, this is Debbie. Ancha.
Hi.
Hey.
Hello.
Isn't
Nice
that something?
to meet you.
Yeah,
Nice
isn't
to
that
meet
great?
you.
She lives near me and she's alternative education. You can hear that, right?
Wonderful.
Yeah, because Debbie's done a lot of teaching and a lot of school administration and doing it different. We're doing it with education, with emotions, and we're doing it with listening to the kids and bringing it out of them instead of shoving it into them, right?
That's right.
Beautiful stuff. So
yeah, well, I'm happy to always go to schools and help the teachers, teach them whatever it takes. It's important now because now we have this amazing opportunity to break the mold. It's already broken, actually, but to break it to a point where we can step out and do it our way. But we have to move forward and we have to help each other. So I'm totally available for that. That's my life mission and has been since I was a kid. So
all right. And we got to get together, Ancha, next time you're in town. You got some time, we'll get together. So
and I hope we have another circle with all of these people, and I hope we can hear each other's whatever's, that we can. I would love to get together with all.
Yeah, great. Okay. Thank you again.